Welcome to this episode of the Impact Forum. My name is Ngozi Okerulu, and with me is Mr. Uche George Okugo. Uche, welcome.
Thank you, Ngozi.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. And you?
Congratulations, Uche. You're soon to be the district governor of Rotary International, District 7080. Can you walk us through your journey with Rotary?
Thank you so much, Ngozi. Rotary International is indeed a beautiful organization. It's the world's first and largest service organization. I joined Rotary 20 years ago this month, actually.
Back in 20 years?
Yes. On the 4th of May, I celebrated exactly 20 years in Rotary.
Oh, congratulations.
And
That's
thank
a
you.
long time.
Yes. And my story is kind of different because typically in Rotary, they will tell you you have to be introduced by someone to join Rotary. In my case, I actually walked into a Rotary club to join Rotary because as a 10-year-old boy, I knew about Rotary International. I was lucky to experience what they typically do for service projects. As at that time, they came to my primary school after having completed the project to commission it. And once I found out that these were a group of people that could do something that the government typically does, I was excited. And at that age, I said to myself, when I grow up, I will be a Rotarian. So it stuck with me. Right after school, I was based in Asaba. I just went online, Googled the first Rotary club I saw. They met on Thursdays in the evening. I just walked into the club and told them I want to join Rotary. They were trying to walk me through. I said, I already know what Rotary is.
Oh, that's awesome.
I just want to join. I'm ready. And so they typically said, well, somebody still have to sponsor you into Rotary, this official process. All that was done. My journey was beautiful. Fast forward to Rotary in Asaba, Rotary in Lagos, and eventually Rotary in Brampton, Ontario, where I joined the Rotary Club of Brampton in 2018 when I came to Canada. And then I, got to be the club president, kept on serving, and eventually got to serve at the district level because Rotary have those cadets. And eventually, a couple of years back, I was nominated to be the district governor nominee designate. And so in Rotary, you move the steps from designate, you become nominee, you become elect. And then by God's grace, from July 1, I will be the district governor.
Congratulations again.
Thank you so much.
So can you walk us through some of your priorities as you take that position of the district governor? What will be your main priorities once you step into that role?
So Rotary International is a beautiful organization. While every Rotary International president would typically let you know his expectations from district governors.
Yeah.
This typically happens during the International Assembly, like the one for this year held in Orlando, Florida. We're there for about a week, where we'll receive trainings from the RI president, who coincidentally, from July 1, will be a Nigerian Rotarian as well. And so it's pretty uncommon in Nigeria, a DG here in Ontario, in Nigeria, the RI president. We're all kind of excited.
Awesome.
But at that level, he rolled out his expectations, which basically was just whatever it is you have done before, that is your best, strive to better your best. Simple expectation, nothing crazy, nothing strenuous. But Rotary International has 4 action items. It centers around impact, adaptability, reach, and what we're expected to do is to pattern our year along those goals. It again makes it simple. So in my case, I'm choosing to focus on membership development and contributions to the Rotary Foundation. So everything you see Rotary do, including the project I mentioned when I was a boy back in my school, that is possible because Rotary International has the Rotary Foundation that basically is the funding arm of every action item Rotary does. And through the foundation, we have what we call matching grants, global grants, right? Where your $1 can quickly become $5 to $6 because the funds are matched from club to district to Rotary International. And it could involve multiple clubs, multiple districts. So I want to focus on that for clubs locally and internationally, supporting clubs to ensure that they engage partners, do more projects, access funding to be more global. And while we're doing that as well, make sure that we have impact, we have reach, and we can adapt so that people will get to know more about Rotary International and desire to join us. And also using social media to adequately project the message of Rotary International. So when I post on social media, I ensure that it's not just posting something that's happened. The post has to be a message. So people will get to know about Rotary and desire to want to know more, desire to want to become part of Rotary International as well. So that's like a summary of the goals I have in mind.
Oh, thank you, Uche, for that summary. I do have a question. One of the things that you said was membership development. Now, my curiosity centers around the young people. I know a lot of, I've been to some Rotary meetings that you and your wife invited me to, and I see a lot of middle-aged to elderly people. What would be your plan to engage the young people, the next generation, um, in Rotary?
So again, the model in Rotary is pretty beautiful. At the high school level, we have Interact. So that is like Rotary for high school students. And even at that level, we pretty much engage them with what you typically will be engaged in as a Rotarian at my level. And then at the university level and even the community level as well, we have Rotaract, basically for undergraduates if they're campus based, and young professionals if they're in the community. Now, these are models used to show the young people what Rotary is like. And then with the hope that when they come of age, they would eventually come into Rotary International. That way, it's a lot easier for them to adapt into Rotary, to help Rotary be innovative, and of course, to help Rotary achieve their goals.
Fantastic. You also had a recent trip to Africa on a Rotary assignment. Can you tell us more about that?
Sure. So Rotary International has friendship exchanges. And
that's
these
awesome.
these are typically exchanges between Rotary clubs, Rotary districts, or even at the zonal level as well. In our case, I led a team of Canadian Rotarians at the district level to Nigeria, where we're part of club meetings, fellowships.
Were you on Nigerians or?
No. So some were core Canadians. I led some Caribbean Canadians. And yes, one of two were Nigerian Canadians as well.
I hope they enjoyed it.
Oh, they sure did. It was almost 2 weeks of experiences they really have never had before, because they experienced the culture, which includes the dressing, the food, the way we speak, some expressions, and then the type of projects. So Rotary showed them a side that they really don't experience here with the kind of projects they do. So again, remember when I said as a kid, people did projects that typically government would do. So they saw projects like building blocks of classrooms, refurbishing laboratories, sponsoring students on scholarship.
That is awesome.
Building solar-powered water systems. These are really beautiful projects. And so they saw this over 6 or 7 Rotary clubs, including how they also meet. And then we're part of a district conference, which was a 3-day event that had about 1,500 Rotarians in attendance. Typically, our own conference have about just 10% of that number in attendance. So again, that was an experience they never had before.
Did you have people from outside Nigeria or within Africa?
So that conference was unique. You had Rotarians from South Korea, you had Rotarians from the United States, you had one from Ghana, and then you had the team from Canada. And
that's
of course,
awesome.
So it was a truly international event. And you typically will see events like this in Rotary. We have our international convention. This year is going to be in Taipei, Taiwan. We have installations as well. So in our case, we have changeover ceremonies, which is happening next month on the 25th of June. That information we put out as well to invite people. That's where I'll be formally introduced as the district governor from July 1.
Oh, that is awesome. Yes. We should all be there. June 25th, you say?
Yes.
Here in Brampton?
No, it's in Mississauga. The venue is in Mississauga.
Mississauga, yes. June 25th. Rotary District General.
Yeah, the changeover ceremony.
Changeover ceremony. You're also the president of the Network of Nigerians in Canada that you founded 7 years ago. How is that going?
That's going great. By July 31st, we'll be celebrating exactly 7 years in existence.
Any new projects? What is the new focus for NNC this year?
So, as I say, change is the most constant thing that we have. And so over time, NNC have had to adapt with what is happening around. And one thing we've started doing actively is collaboration. So for most of our activities, we're looking for partners that we collaborate with. It could either be ideas they have, ideas we have, and then we sit down and talk about how to make it work for the community. Earlier this year, we started a new series called My Immigrant Journey, where we interview immigrants that have got awesome stories. It could be struggles at the beginning, successes, it could be ups and downs, but generally trying to paint a picture so that people will know that if these people could pass through this and could do this,
Yeah.
then
It's
I
not all
shouldn't give up.
struggles, right?
Exactly.
There's some
There is-
success stories in there.
Oh yes, you understand. So we try to
That's
make
good.
sure that
Fantastic.
it presents an opportunity for new immigrants, especially, or even those here that are still trying to find their faith,
Yes.
to understand that consistency truly helps, because that program is wrapped around how people have consistently focused on something
Yes.
that eventually give them success and a reason to, have a pathway, so to speak.
Yeah. Can you tell us a bit more about some of the organizations that you collaborate with?
So I know that ANE Global, for one.
Oh, that's
We've had
fantastic.
collaboration.
Yeah.
We've also collaborated with the NIRO. It's called the Nigerians in the region of Waterloo.
Good.
It was first on a program on taxation, and then of course a program that helped new immigrants understand that there are certain businesses and certain things that you can collaborate with. We've also had collaboration with the government. They have programs that you can take advantage of. Most recently, we collaborated with Algoma University on
Agoma.
a career summit where businesses were brought into one location. The government of Canada was also brought in. P Regional Police, the Canadian Armed Forces was brought in as well. And so it was a robust program. And that program is also scheduled going forward to run at least annually or semi-annually, just so that people will have an opportunity to see that certain things are also good to go into. For example, people really didn't know
Yes.
that there are opportunities with the Canadian Armed Forces. And after that program, at least I know of two persons.
Oh, the armed forces.
Oh yes, two persons have got into the armed forces because I got this notice from them to act as a confirmation, a reference rather.
Oh,
for
nice,
so I know that it's been yielding fruit, as well as P Regional Police. Again, these are opportunities that exist that people ordinarily never really knew about.
Okay, Uche, I see the municipal elections are coming up in the fall this year. And I see there's an increased interest of from the Black community. Is NSC endorsing anyone this year? Are you standing behind anyone?
My desire is, I wish politics itself didn't put an unconscious pressure on community basis. For example, I wish it to be a case of just people playing politics, people coming into politics without having to be focused on race. It creates this extra layer of pressure, right? And so for everybody that is running for office, what would typically be an advantage is, I hope they've been at it for at least the last 4 years. Because what they need is to understand these meetings as they go on. It could be council meetings, it could be subcommittee meetings, it could be engaging the community, especially community groups as well, just to give you a better time to prepare. So in this election season, your messaging will just come naturally. You're easily apportioned where you stand. You're easily known for something because you've had time to really think about it and be behind it. As a not-for-profit, non-partisan, and non-religious organization, what NNC focuses on is continuous knowledge sharing to its members. So it's always good to understand what the political structures are like, encourage people to know who your councillors are, your MPs, MPPs, your voting rights, the election cycle, and things like that. So in seasons like this, members are better informed and hopefully they'll be better engaged and better positioned to decide on how to move on from here.
Yeah, so he still didn't answer the question. He's not endorsing anybody. He's participating in the whole...
To ensure that members
are well informed.
Yes.
I see. That's a political answer in itself. Okay.
Is that appropriate answer?
As we wrap this up, Uche, you've been here in Canada for quite some time now, over a decade. As an immigrant yourself and a very successful one, do you have any lessons that you've learned that you like to share with the people who have just arrived or the people who have been here for a while but are still struggling to find their feet and just find their way in Canada?
One of the most consistently successful support structure in Canada is every endeavor focused on new immigrants. They would always need that support, would always need that help, right? But the very first thing I want to mention is, if you are an immigrant in Canada, whether you're new or you've been here for some time, the truth is you should desist from thinking that your being in Canada is a mistake. You shouldn't focus on those thoughts that tend to align you to want to leave Canada. No, you're here. Think about everything that is available for you to succeed. And trust me, there are tons of resources for you to succeed. I think one thing I'll tell new immigrants is, once you're here, focus on what aligns you first to financial intelligence.
Yeah.
The financial system here needs a whole different set of understanding. It's completely different.
I do agree.
And then while you are at that, also ensure that once you start making money, or assuming you're here with some money, you want to also build your financial foundation while engaging in genuine relationships and being intentional with them. So you make relationships, you sustain them over time. Because your financial intelligence, your financial willpower, and the relationships you make and sustain are what will eventually get you to your next level in Canada. I'm being particular about Canada. And so let every new immigrant start to think about, okay, how does finance work in this part of the world? Because no matter what you want to end up doing, exactly, it's all about finance. Yourself, your spouse, your family, your future, everything is tied around that because it's working here. Once you get that piece right, you realize that everything else just falls into place. Because one thing that never waits for anyone is time.
Yes.
So next thing you know, you're 6 months old in town. You're 3 years old. You're 5 years old. And boom, you're 10 years old. You're 20 years old.
Oh.
And so the question will be, what have I achieved?
Yeah.
And as human beings, most of the measure of our achievement is tied around your financial willpower. What do I have? What don't I have? What have I done? What haven't I done? So every immigrant should spend time to get financially educated in Canada. You want to do business?
Financial education.
Understand. You want to get a job? You need to understand exactly how to go about it, okay? Understand taxation. How to go about, being tax efficient, so to speak. I mean, if I can borrow the term of a friend of mine. So that's my foundational advice to new immigrants. But also key is engagement. No man is an island, or no one is an island. Once you're here, you want to first align yourself with your immediate community. And while you are aligned to immediate community, use that also to leverage relationships. Because Canada is one of the most diverse nations on earth. So you want to also know people from other communities and build that relationship.
Relationships, collaborations, friendships.
Exactly. That has worked for me. And I will always recommend that for people.
That is fantastic. Thank you very much, Uche.
Thank you.
It was nice having you on this show today.
I appreciate the time.